Hi there, and welcome to the August Harmony update. So, this is going to be an energetic update for the month of August 2024, but it's going to be specifically focused on what you need to know in advance to be able to harmonize your energy with the month and make the most of your month and make decisions and actions and just align yourself to be co-creating with the energies in the direction that you want to take your life, like really being that conscious creator of your life. So I've been doing these energy updates for a while now, but it's just been coming through that I need to kind of like switch up the language of how I'm talking about that. And so this is really going to be focused on how do you harmonize your energy with the upcoming month. So without further ado, my name's Emily Sheets. If you don't know me, I'm an intuitive healer and teacher, and I am going to use my intuitive skills to tap into the energy of the month ahead in this video. And I have not actually tapped in at all. I mean, I've been getting little messages here and there, but I don't watch anybody else's videos on energy updates, things coming up in the month. I purely just tap in to source energy, the universe, unconditional love. That's where all these messages come from to bring you this harmony update. Okay. So so with August energy, let's just get right into it. I feel like there are a lot of people out there that are very scattered in their energy, and it's showing up in their life through inconsistent results, maybe chaotic events, a lot of roller coaster rides, emotional roller coasters up and down. And this message has been coming through since March for me, but it's coming up again to talk about today with August is that it doesn't need to be so drastic, so dramatic, so chaotic that you can be on earth and at this time and with the energies of evolution and ascension, all of those things that are coming through right now. um, the process to becoming more of your soul self and embodying that and showing up in the world from that place doesn't have to be so chaotic, dramatic. And a lot of times, the things that people are experiencing right now are re traumatizing them. So, we've been talking all summer about how when there's more light on the planet, which is just happening naturally, anyways, because the intensity and the frequencies are. Um, they're just at a higher frequency. And so it's showing you to a greater degree where your focus has been and what has been going on in your subconscious mind. And a lot of people have been either in denial about that or they are seeing the things that they're creating their reality. They're maybe not super happy about it. And then they're going into self blame, which is also unhelpful. Anyways, we'll get more into that in a second. But when there's more light coming in, it just shows us like truly what's been going on beneath the surface. Um, and for a lot of people that don't have that awareness, it can be re traumatizing to see the traumatic things that have been held in the subconscious energy fields of each individual person on this planet. And so I think the first thing I want to say about that is really this journey that we've been going through and we're going to be continuing to go through is how much can you stay in your heart space and your body and connected to your true soul, authentic self as we witness the chaos and the things that have been hidden for so long. I had somebody reflect to me this week this phrase that's, like one of the principles of transformation and alchemy is that you have to have awareness, you have to see something in order to transform it. And so that can be a really hard process for a lot of people. I know it has been a lot of wild ups and downs for even me. So I'm not immune to any of this. And I have really been working towards that idea of harmony. So it's like That's why I've been guided to call these the harmony updates now, because um that was shown to me by the ocean. And so I think it's time to post that video. I stay tuned. I'll be posting that video. I did this whole intuitive message that the ocean was speaking to me and telling me about how harmony is one of the highest intentions you can have for your life. Because a lot of people that are in this space, if you're here on this video, you're probably on some sort of healing path, personal growth, evolution path, on a spiritual awakening journey. And there can be definitely a tendency for fear to interfere with that journey a lot, and we get caught up in this idea that the fear is it sends us back into old coping patterns, old mechanisms, old wounded self, the re-traumatization energy. It sends us back down in a downward spiral instead of observing the fear as something that's coming up to be released. And so that's really how you harmonize with the energy, because we're just going to get into these more and more intense cycles where more is going to be seen and brought to light. It's always been there, but it hasn't been magnified like it's being magnified right now. And how you choose to deal with that is just so of the most critical, utmost importance. And it's a simple mindset switch that you just look at everything coming up to as if it is here to be released, rather than, oh no, what am I doing wrong? Oh, like, and then kind of like getting way out of the body, out of the heart, into the mind, over analyzing, overthinking. Um, Worrying about stuff, and instead of just being like, okay, this is here for me to observe, to witness, because it's here to release and transform. The more you can do that in the coming months, especially, because I do sense a lot of chaotic energy in the collective. That doesn't mean that's going to happen in your life. So these are not future predictions in any way. It's just energetic themes that are going to be present. And how you experience that, first of all, does not have to be the same way that the collective experiences it. It doesn't have to be the same. You don't have to experience that energy in the same way as your neighbor, as your mom, as your boyfriend, your husband, your best friend. You can have the power to stay in here, stay connected to your truth, and know that truth, that this is all coming up to be observed, witness with love, make new choices, and let it go. Um, a lot of people have been trying to let go of a lot of heavy stuff for a long time, heavy emotions, heavy belief systems, heavy patterns in their life. And they keep recycling themselves because we are not meeting them with the eyes and the awareness of, oh, this is here so I can see it, to transform it, to release it finally, not the mind going back to that same old story, that record player, like, see, I knew this was going to happen, I'm going back into my old stuff, or like just get really afraid of it. So it does take a huge degree. I want to tell you, this sounds very simple, but it takes a huge degree of self-trust and knowing yourself, knowing your nervous system, knowing how to work with your energy, knowing how to work with your emotions, how to stay present even when there is fear, and continuing to choose to see it as like, even this fear, this anxiety here, that's actually coming up to be released, rather than making up a story about blaming yourself or blaming other people, or going into victim mode, which I'm a person that I truly believe in my heart of hearts, if you want to let go of your victim mindset, that's a huge topic online these days. Just stop being a victim and be in your power. Okay, it's easier said than done, because most people are trying to, either they're in denial that they've been in this mindset for the first part. And so denial is coming up a lot so far in the energy reading. And so I encourage you to maybe even take a minute right now, just maybe pause the video and taking a couple of deep breaths and getting in touch with your own heart, again, your heart. Where have I been in denial about some of these things? Because when we're in denial, we're refusing to see them at all. We're refusing to see that there's an emotion there or something that needs our love, our attention, our presence, because that's what transforms things. It's the presence, it's the loving presence. So, I mean, I help people cultivate those things within themselves, being able to hold the loving presence when strong stuff comes up. That's what I do, but you could do that always. You have that ability always, and I want you to know that. But denial is one of those things keep you sucked back into those looping patterns. And so the more you can be honest with yourself about what's coming up and how do you truly feel about it, because most of us just brush emotions under the rug. We have these positive mindsets that a lot of times are just doing us a huge disservice because we're avoiding the grief, the anger, and the hard heavy stuff that really needs to be let go of to truly release. So I feel like August is really a month that is incredibly potent for release, like letting some stuff go. But depending on how you've been harmonizing with the energy in the past and how much you've been willing to lean into your own honesty and your own emotions is going to determine how you experience the energies of the month. Some people really need that fucking slap in their face, you know? I'm sure you can think of a time in your life that you were slapped in the face by the universe, because you refused to see something, you refused to see it for what it was, or if you refused to see how it was impacting you, truly, deeply, emotionally. But your body knows that all the time. It's only when we're up here again in the mind space, totally disconnected from in here, are we able to play that game of like, this doesn't really impact me. That doesn't affect me. I don't really feel anything. And that is just going to be a harder and harder place for people to be. So the more you are in that denial energy, the more you are in that space of like, I'm fine, this is all fine, like from a inauthentic space. Because you can be totally in your center and be like, I see all this crazy shit going down, but I'm fine. But it's because it's coming from here, not like the mind making up a story because it's too scary to go into the idea that what if I'm not fine with this? What if I'm really upset or angry? I really feel like the energy, if you can lean into it, which is so hard for some people, the energy of anger, especially with again within the northern hemisphere with the light coming in, it's just burning this fire within us, that can be used for good, it can be used to destroy, it can be used to hurt other people, and the energy that it kind of determines what how you're going to respond to that fire is anger. How comfortable are you with your own anger? How comfortable are you of staying in your center when other people are angry? So the election is coming up. If you're an American, that's just going to be a fire that's going to be stoked for a while, and they are really going to try to pull people in different directions. And the being able to stay in your truth in your center is, um, when there are heightened emotions, especially anger, is going to be determining it's the way that how you experience that is going to be determined on your own relationship to your own anger. And so, really cultivating that. And a lot of people are in denial about how much anger, especially if you're on this channel. I imagine you're a person that really wants to do good in the world. I imagine you're a person that, like, really maybe at times can be that empath and has felt the anger of other people deeply. And you felt how much that has hurt you. And maybe you feel like you're really in touch with your emotions, but I just sense this has been my journey too, is like really getting in touch with the anger, letting yourself be angry is going to be the key in August for you to get to that release where we're finally letting go of these old patterns. And there's a lot of them that we have to see and look at. And you might be exhausted also at this time because you've been doing a lot of work and you've been looking at all this stuff and you're like, how can I have more to look at? How can I be how are you're telling me I have all this hidden stuff, and it's just there's a lot. There's a lot that's happened in your family that hasn't been expressed or looked at, and that's buried in your DNA, and it's not necessarily yours to carry, but it is yours to witness if you want to be that true soul embodied, heart embodied person that I know you deep down want to be because you're here on this video. So, find some ways to get in touch with your anger, but the caveat with that is learning to experience that without projecting it onto others in a negative way, like in a vengeful way, a hateful way, a spiteful way, because a lot of times when we don't have a good relationship to our anger, and that this is might be where the denial comes in for some of you, you'll resonate if like something in your body like, oh well, if this is true for you, that when we experience anger, um we think we have a good a relationship to our anger because we do get angry at people when they cross our boundaries, but it might come off as literally the projection of that anger onto that other person of like, don't do that, you know? And that's a okay thing to do. So again, don't go back into self-blame. We ain't doing that over here. It's more about it's so when we are very highly reactive, highly triggered, and like we are either angry at ourselves a lot or angry at other people a lot as the main trigger, that tells me that there's actually a boiling pot of anger you haven't even allowed yourself to look at or feel because it's too scary, and it has to do with the conditioning of being a good person, and again that empath of like seeing how the anger of other people has impacted you negatively, and so we shove that down, and it is time for that stuff to go if you truly want to be soul embodied and harmonizing with the energy. I mean, I had this happen to me today, where I sat with my anger, like it was the silliest little thing. My water spilled with my minerals, like my lovely minerals in my car, and I felt such anger. And I was like, whoa, this kind of not really an appropriate reaction just to water spilling. And I was alone, I was by myself. And so I went to the gym and I just like I had resting bitch face the whole time and just sat in that anger. And as I allowed that myself to feel that anger, I started to feel angry about other things that I haven't really allowed myself to go there. And so it's a practice, I guess, is what I want to say. And the more you can expand your capacity for that anger, the more you can yield it in your own life for transformation. Because it is that fire energy that really does transform quickly. And so I let myself sit in anger. By the end of my workout, 40 minutes, I like couldn't force myself to be angry because it's like, well, I just spent time being angry and I feel really, really good. So yeah, it's hard. It's hard. And the other thing that might come up, and it's been coming up a lot, in the last month, but I want to say the last couple of years, is the idea that not everybody is going to be willing to have the awareness and be willing to put down the denial, which is a protective mechanism because they're afraid of the emotions and the things that they would have to see. But the thing is that it's going to be in their face. So I started talking about like, when the universe has to slap you in the face, that's happened to you probably. Some people are going to get a slap in the face this month because they've been in too much denial of what's been going on. Now, I definitely don't want to spark fear. So if your nervous system is already spiked from me saying that, take your power back. That doesn't mean that has to be you. And in fact, I would gather that a lot of people on this video aren't going to experience like a strong slap in the face because you've already been doing the work. But it all comes down to how are you responding to your triggers? How have you been responding to your triggers? What are the things you've been in denial about? And are you refusing to see something? And what in the past, how like kind of like it's like how what degree of intensity has the universe had to show you what's going on beneath the surface for you to have that awareness? If you're a person that pays attention and is open and willing to shift when there's smaller triggers, then the transformation potential for you in August is just off the charts. If you can, again, keep that mindset of like, oh, this little thing, my water spilling, is like the medicine of the moment that I need to be open to feeling fully and see that that's a gateway to feeling other things that are maybe related or completely unrelated, and allow that to just process and transform with your loving presence. You don't have to do anything. It's not about fixing or changing it at all. It's just like, I'm angry about this, and then I'm fucking angry about this and this and this and this. And that's what I was today. And then but I wasn't trying to transform it. I wasn't trying to control it. I was just letting it be there for as long as it needed to. And it passes a lot faster when you are in that space of allowing and accepting of whatever comes in the moment. So those are the kind of like predictors of how this month will go for you and how to harmonize your energy. So, when I say acceptance, it's not about condoning another person's actions, but it really is about accepting the emotional impact that it's had on you. And I am speaking directly to a few people. You will feel it in your body that you have not been allowing yourself to fully realize or accept the emotional impact that certain events have had on you. And you've had to do that out of survival. And you want to be this happy person in your life, but sometimes we are trying to jump too many steps ahead of ourselves. We are wanting to be the happy balanced person without acknowledging the pain. So I also started this video by talking about getting out of the victim mindset, and now it's coming full circle. Is we honor the victimhood to get out of the victim mindset, and the only way we do that is if we are allowing ourselves to feel the emotional impact of that experience, which may have happened multiple times to you, times where you felt like life was unfair or out of control. Like those are all victim energies. It doesn't mean that you were necessarily like attacked or something by somebody, although we have all been attacked, whether that's just been verbally, mentally, some people physically, and that's harder to deal with. But realizing and allowing yourself to fully process as you have capacity. So listening to your body and your heart are never going to tell you to overdo it. Or they're never gonna it's never gonna open something that is going to throw you so out of control that you can't regain it. um so just know that, again, that's that message of always just staying in here and really being honest with yourself about your capacity to deal with emotions. Because if I was like frazzled today and not in a space to deal with anger, because it does tend to be more triggering to my nervous system to look at and see anger within myself and others, I might have turned to a different coping mechanism, like a regulation tool to like kind of put that in the box for another day, and when I have more capacity. So it really is about knowing yourself, but your body and your heart and your soul are never going to lead you to something that you can't handle, that you don't have the tools and the capacity to handle. It's only when we are up here still operating from the victim mindset that we are in this push pull dynamic, push through things, doing too much, doing too little, being frozen, like those wild extremes. So if you experience wild extremes in this month, just know you have a little bit more work to do to really get connected in here, and really being this as your guidance system which just doesn't mean you're perfect at it, even though I'm like very much like in tune and allowing my heart to guide my life. That does not mean I am never in my head and in my wounded victim mentality. Um, so it's all about being able to recenter yourself. So I think that's another key thing for August is so many opportunities for you to strengthen your own center of who you are and be in that power just more and more every single day. So look at the life through the lens of the empowerment of whatever's going on in your life. This is here to empower me no matter what it is. And how do I be fully present with this rather than bypassing it so that I can be that happy, balanced person that I've always wanted to be, but I've just maybe been skipping a few steps ahead because I've been too up here. Okay, so that is my monthly August harmony update. Let me know if you guys like this message in the comments below. And of course, if you need one-on-one support or this is something you want guidance and training on, like how to sit with the anger, any of the stuff that's coming up, or if you're really feeling like you're too much in your head, you don't know how to get into your heart and your body, those are the things that I do one on one in my various offers that are listed below the video. And I am just wishing you the most beautiful August filled with you being in your center and in your power and flowing with the energy and just creating the most amazing life for yourself. Okay, see you next time. Bye bye.